Global first Dokkan Festival Rosé has made his return. But should you use your red coins to buy him? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are talking about the Tech LRUI Goku's banner, taking a look at who's there, and specifically of a return of one specific unit, and determining whether or not him or any other units on the banner are worth your hard-earned red coins. After all, many of you guys have probably built up a wealth of coins after summoning all on the 9th anniversary. And of course, right, there are missions and events that need characters like super bosses, which this handy little guy is on. So we're going to talk about whether or not I think it is worth it to buy him with 400 hard-earned red coins. So let's first go ahead and talk about what this guy is doing. So in his base form, he has super bosses, corroded body and mind, category key 3, HP attack and defense 170%, and an additional 30% for anybody on Realm of Gods, accelerated battle, or exploding rage. He has key 2 attack defense 200%, guards all attacks for the turn, reduces damage received 6% per super boss's ally, and has an additional damage reduction of 30% before attacking. He has an additional attack per rainbow key sphere obtained. He launches an additional attack with a 50% chance of becoming a super attack. He launches additional super attack every time he does 5 attacks or more. He also launches an additional super attack every time he attacks 10 or more times, once within a turn, and he also has an additional attack defense 30% within the turn with each attack performed, and that is super or normal. He does give super bosses allies key 2 after receiving an attack, and he has a 70% chance to nullify key blast supers. Now, he does have an active skill that will create a domain city future rift in time, and it does give allies key, but it does raise allies key by 2, and it does so for 4 turns. It can be activated starting from his 4th turn as long as all allies are super bosses. Now, while this is in effect, it is giving super bosses 10% and an additional 10% for those that are extreme, so 20% for extreme super bosses. Now, it also transforms him into the Goku Black clones, right? So while here he's getting attack defense 222%, he's getting key 2, he's getting attacks effective against all types, he's reducing damage received 66% before attacking, he's randomly changing key spheres to rainbow, and also launching additional attack that has a 20% chance of becoming a super attack per rainbow key sphere obtained. He also launches an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack, and he also launches an additional super attack every time he performs 5 attacks, and again at 10 once within a turn. He also has an additional 33% with each attack performed. So the main way he works is that every time he super attacks, he greatly raises his attack and defense for the turn, which is a 50% raise on attack and 30% on defense. Plus, every time he attacks normals or super, he's gaining an additional 33%, right? So you have the potential of an 83% attack raise every time he, super attacks, right? If it's just a super attack, right, you get that initial 83% for the first one, and then it's 33% after that, up until the 5th time he attacks, in which he is guaranteed to launch an additional super. Now, of course, getting the 5th attack on the first turn doesn't happen unless, right, you've got you manage to actually get the 4 to 5 rainbow key spheres, which is kind of rare. It happens, but it is rare. Now, where this guy really comes in is when he actually does perform those super attacks. Yes, it is a 20% chance, but he's still phenomenal, right? You begin to quickly see his attacks snowball out of effect the more super attacks he gets. And all it takes is just 1 or 2 extra to really see it. So he's an incredibly powerful unit. But the question is he worth your 400 coins, right? He is a powerful unit that will clear many events for you, especially events that need super bosses, right? Even if you can't transform him, he's still going to be very good. So looking on UI's banner, in order to answer that question, we have to see who else is there, because I would say him alone is worth it, right? Him alone, right? If you bought him for 400 coins, you're not losing anything. You are gaining a very, very powerful unit. But there are some stipulations, right? Looking on his banner, right, there are other units here that may be more beneficial to you. For example, LR Bootangs. If you are missing LR Bootangs, he is a hugely beneficial, especially if you're someone who hasn't completed the Artificial Life Forms mission. He is a must run for that mission. So if you were missing him on UI Goku's banner alone, right, that should be something you should prioritize your coins on. Now, beyond this banner, right, if you were someone looking at the 6th year EZAs, right, if you missed out on these guys are also someone you should consider before considering Rosé. While characters like Rosé and Bootangs are useful for those specific missions, you're going to get more long-lasting impact out of purchasing these guys with coins if you're missing them. To add on to that, right, if you're somebody who missed out on Dokkan Fest LR Broly or Dokkan Fest LR Beast Gohan, they should be your #1 priority. Every month I'm going to have to add this, right? If you missed these 2 characters, they will return in December, and you need to be ready to buy them when they do show up for 500 red coins. Now, if you have way more than that, right, you have over 1,000, you have 900, right, you have enough to swing that purchase on Rosé and still save for these guys, then of course do so. But if not, right, if you're teetering on the 500 mark, if you're barely at 2, then I suggest you just save. Don't bother trying to get these guys. Don't worry about trying to get Rose until you have secured those other characters, right? They are definitely your priority. Other characters you should consider, right, are the category banner unit guys. So because these guys are on a category banner, they can actually be purchased for 500 red coins. The Int 17 and the Fizz Golden Frieza. Personally, I do like Fizz Golden Frieza, but if I were to say any other unit, right, Fizz 17 should be or STR 17, Int 17 should be a priority over all others. For the superheroes team, specifically Reps of Universe 7, he's a far greater support unit and will do so much more for your team than any other character. So I definitely recommend him if you do not have him. So all in all, I would say that Rose is worth it if you have the coins to spare. But if not, prioritize these guys. They should be your #1 choice if you don't have them. If you have, right, the anniversary LRs, the #1 choice should be the 6th anniversary LRs, followed by Bootangs or LR Universe 7 right here. Those would be my top recommendations if you weren't going to go with Rosé. So guys, that is it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let me know, did you end up using coins on any character? If so, who? Let us know in the comments down below before we hop into the next celebration. We would love to hear what you decided to do in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.